Hey guys, HippieHollow1 here. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm here with my Lionel 6-28704 Pennsylvania Railroad E6 number 68, equipped with TMCC. So I picked this up in January, I think, from a Greenberg show, and I got it for a really good price, and there's a couple of reasons for that. The primary one is this guy, the eccentric crank. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but every time I touch this to the ground, this switch machine buzzes. Fun. Anyway, yeah, so that don't crank no more. So I would just buy a replacement part from Lionel, except Lionel doesn't have one. So I would just buy one from a third-party dealer, except nobody has one. So I'll just buy a legacy E6 eccentric crank assembly, because it's the same tooling, so, you know, I can just throw that on, except they also don't exist. So, yeah, couldn't tell you why, but apparently every E6 Lionel has ever made, this rod breaks. So there's no replacements for it. Also, the, up here, the crosshead link, and I think this is the combination lever, are backwards, but that's an easy fix. I can just take off the side rods and push that forward. Also, there's an issue with, when I got it, there was an issue with one of the rear marker lights. I believe the engineer side rear marker didn't work. The bulb's blown. Well, the LED's blown because, you know, these engines, if you don't know, they use LEDs in the markers, but they're wired directly to AC. But they're DC LEDs. So what's happening is as the AC wave is doing its wavy thing, the LED is only on for half of that cycle. So the LED is actually turning on and off really fast, and that's how you get all sorts of issues with like the refresh rate on cameras with some of these engines. The newer ones are actually run through rectifiers, which is really nice, but I'm pretty sure these are run directly off of track power, considering the fact that they are literally hardwired into the center rail and the ground. So woo, that's fun. So they blow out, even though they're LEDs. So I moved the center marker light, which is actually a reverse light. I put that bulb in the actual marker light. So that problem was fixed. And that gave me a whole bunch of ideas for ways to upgrade this thing. So my first thought was I'll just buy replacement, or buy a replacement marker, put that in the rear, and just leave it original and call it good. And then I started running it, and I realized that these front markers aren't illuminated either. And I went, aha, ideas. So I want to put an 0402 SMD LED in the backup light. And I only say 0402 because that's just what I have. If I find a better sized one, I'll use that. But I'll put an LED in here. And I'm going to wire it into the DC reverse light switch that is on the, it's the Rail Sounds, I think it's the motherboard, has the reverse light port on it, so I'll wire that in, so I'll have a functional backup light, which will be really neat, because Lionel, I guess when they made these, didn't understand that that was a backup light, so yeah. And also, I'm going to wire these guys up here, these marker lights, into the reverse output from the R2LC, where it goes into the main motherboard up here in the locomotive. And the reason I want to do that is because, if you don't know, the reason that there's so many lights on the front of these engines is because 2 of them were class lights and 2 of them were marker lights. And this was a thing that the Pennsy did, I want to say until the 30s or 40s. And then they started removing them on yard service locomotives and then eventually on mainline locomotives. But anyway, so these upper ones are your classification lights. So what they do is they tell you what the train is. So they will either be clear, so off, white, or green. White is an extra, green is the first or N number of trains in a series, and then the last train in that series runs no class lights. So, and then no class lights on a regular train just simulates or just signifies a regular train. These lights down here on the pilot beam are your marker lights. So what they do is they would be used if the engine was operating in reverse and also at the end of the train. So if this was your caboose and the caboose was on that end, and it was going, backwards, these lights would be illuminated, and that would indicate to everybody on the ground that this is the rear of the train and you can walk in front of it and it's not going to run you over, I think was the idea. But again, they started getting removed around the, I think 30s and 40s. So the mountain class that my dad has, they're all green, which looks really cool, but technically isn't accurate, but I don't care. It looks really neat. But I think it'd be a fun project to try and get these wired up so that they actually work when you put the engine in reverse. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Really short video, I know, but I can't really run it right now because it do the floppage. So I've tried gluing it a couple times, and every time I glue it, I go to pick it up and just snap it off because I am dumb. But yeah, so really cute engine, really small. I like it. It's, I think, the smallest steam engine in my fleet. It does have the wireless drawbar, which is fun. I don't think if they made this today, I think they'd probably do the wired tether just because of how short the electrical footprint is, but haven't run over my curved Atlas switch, so I haven't had any problems with it. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed. I'll include some running shots at the end here from when I first glued the eccentric crank, and it held for a little bit before I went to go pack it up and broke it. But yeah, I am CW Hollow 1, and have a good day, or maybe good night in your case. See ya.
Yardmaster, Pennsylvania 6-8, please stand by. Over. Roger that. 68 is standing by. Out. 6-8, you are clear to pull. Over. Very good. We're cleared outbound. Thank you, sir. Over. This is 68. We're moving toward the outbound line. Over. Roger that.